Good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm very happy to to hear you today. For me, hearing is seeing.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you so much. Today, we shall continue reading the article that we have started yesterday from Zohar Chadash. Today, there's also a quote in Aramaic. We shall try to read this with you today. And I would like to hear your impressions from the text, from the reading. And I would like to start, unless if you have questions that you would like to start with first.
No questions for me.
Thank you.
We can
Rodrigo?
start. We can start, Ed. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very happy, and I'm ready to follow you.
Thank you. Fernando, questions?
I'm totally on the way at listening to you like the friends, and I'm ready to follow the text. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Here we are. Let's read together. I'm just moving the text because I'm not on a constant mode. Let's zoom in here. We have started yesterday, and good morning to friends on YouTube. I'm very happy to see you as well. We continue to read from the Zohar Chadash. Yesterday, we read an article that deals with the 4 capital letters, Shalom Venus, Shalom Shalom. And today, we shall in a way read backwards from few letters before what we have started yesterday in order to bridge and see how does it proceed. So, Sefer HaZohar, Zohar in Perush HaSulam with a translation of the Sulam, the letter Zohar Chadash, New Zohar, Shir HaShirim, Song of Solomon, מאמר ד' רוחות שבנשיקות. ד', what number is ד'? This is an active reading. What is ד'? 4. What is ruach? What is ruach?
Ruach is the spirit, right?
The spirit. Very good. So 4 spirits. שבנשיקות. ד' רוחין שבנשיקין. This is translation to Hebrew. The original name of the article is ד' רוחין. ד' is 4. רוחין in Aramaic is רוחות. In Hebrew, spirits. That in the kisses or in the kiss. Let's see, how does it flow? Shall I start? I promised Venus to read in Aramaic today. Venus. So I'll start reading in Aramaic. If you don't have patience, I'll move into Hebrew and translate immediately to English. Do you have patience for the Aramaic? This is the question.
Yes, Etsy, please.
Okay. So letter 4, אות ד'. Here. Rabbi Berachia Amar. Rabbi Berachia said, Yetiv Havina Alfili Deromi Rabata. I would like to focus on this because this is a very interesting opening in Aramaic. Thank you, Venus, for encouraging me not to be afraid and read directly from the Aramaic without any other bridges. Thank you so much. So Amar said, Yatib Havina, Yatib, in Aramaic, the shin and the tav are switching. So Yatib, if we switch the tav with the shin, it's like Yashav. What is Yashav? To sit. Very, very good. Yatib Havina, because in Hebrew we don't have the verb to be like in other young, languages. Havina, we were sitting from Havaya, from being, sitting. So, Rabbi Berachia Amar, Rabbi Berachia said, Yativ Havina, we were sitting upon Fili Deromi, Fili the gate. דרומי of Rome. We were sitting at the gate of Rome. But which Rome? Rabata. Rabata is the capital. Yes? Yes, Fernando, please.
No, like the Rabat. I thought about the meeting.
Think like this. It is very good to think like this.
Nice.
The great city of Rome, or the capital city of Rome, Rabata. Venus says that, Rodrigo, your microphone is mute. Venus is saying that Rodrigo's microphone is mute.
Maybe it's mine, Eti. I don't know if my sound is.
Oh, good. So we shall see. I will ask Venus. Venus, do you hear Fernando? Fernando is speaking at the moment. Do you hear him?
Hello, Venus. I don't know.
Yes, Venus, do you hear? Yes, it's you. She hears it. So you were thinking about Rabata. It's very good. It's very good what you're saying. Yes, Joanne, good morning. Can you increase your microphone, Fernando?
Yes.
Yes, very good. So let's recite and sing. I like it. Rabbi Berachia Amar. Rabbi Berachia said, Yativ Havina, we were sitting around. Very good. Yativ Havina, we were sitting upon the gate of Great Rome, the capital city or the great city of Rome. And marveled, Venus, we were sitting around being marveled by Justitia and Venus' arrival. True. Vechamina. Chamina comes from Chama. What is Chama in Hebrew? We know the word for sun, Shemesh. Shemesh is sun. But here we find the word Chama from hot, from warm. But here Chamina, though this is a sun, we were looking at and we were watching. Chamina is to see. Like the sun gives us the ability to see, Chama is Shemesh in Hebrew. It's equivalent word to Shemesh. Chama. Vechamina. And we saw Vechamina. And we saw. Chad Barnash. Chad in Aramaic is like Echad in Hebrew. Chad is one. Chad is like Echad. Barnash, mensch, men. Havaati. Rome is Rome, Joanne. Rome is Rome. Romi in Hebrew is Rome in English. Yes. Vechamina, and we saw Chad Barnash, one man, or one guy, or one human. The Hava Ati. Hava, Haya, was, Ati, to come, was coming. So, let's read it again. Rabbi Berachia is saying, basically, he's telling a story. Let's listen to the story and the picture that he's portraying. Rabbi Berachia Amar. Rabbi Berachia was saying, we were sitting upon the gates of the great city of Rome, and we saw one man that was coming. So far, so good? We understand everything?
Yes.
Yes, friend.
Questions so far before we continue?
No, ma'am.
Nafkana legabe. I came out for him. Nafka, lehafik, manafkamina. Afikoman is to go out, to produce. To go out, to produce. I'm not sure we can see what I'm writing here. Nafka, lehafik is to produce. It's to produce, meaning to go out. So, nafka legabe came out for him. Ailna le bego betai. I brought him into my home. Go in Aramaic, go is ina. Betai, my home. Bait, betai, my home. Bedikna le, I checked him. Checked him how? In questions. Bamikra, mikra meaning mikra is reading the Torah. Reading the Torah. Bamishnah, this is a Talmud. Batosefta, additional part of the Talmud. Babylonian Talmud. Uva Haggadah. Haggadah is the story of going out of Egypt. Velo ashkachna be. I did not find anything in him. Ashkachna matzah, to find. OBS is broadcasting at the moment because I get all kinds of command. I hope that there is a broadcast on YouTube at the moment. So, I checked him. Please pay attention to the steps. How many steps or how many levels does Rabbi Berachia check or ask the guy? Mikra is reading the Torah. This is the first. Yeah, 4. Very good, Rodrigo. Very good, Rodrigo. So in Mikra, in reading the Torah, is 1 step. Mishnah, Talmud, 2nd. Tosefta, the additional part of the Talmud, and the Haggadah, 4 layers. Very good. Velo ashkachna be. I did not find anything in this guy. Nazifna be. I told him not good words because Rabbi Berachia in a way was upset because he invited him into his home. He asked him for questions he doesn't know how to answer. Nazifna is to say not good word to a person, like a boss tells his employee, hey, you didn't do what I asked you, what do you do? Something like that. Nazifna. Velo atib li miyadi. And atib, again, let's change the tav with shin. He did not reply to me. So Rabbi Berachia is upset because this guy or this man does not answer him in 4 levels. And he says not good word to the guy, but the guy does not reply. הפיל גר מאחורי דשא ודמך. He let himself fall behind the door and fell asleep. The guy make himself fall behind the door and fell asleep. Damach, it sounds like blood. Yes, in Hebrew, it means to fall asleep. Please pay attention to the association of the Aramaic with the verb to sleep. Amina, hu וכלבה יחלון כחדה. Amina, like amen, in this case, amarti. Aman, in Aramaic, is like amar. Amina, amarti, or amarti, 1 second. Amar, to say, when he sees that this guy is falling asleep behind the door, Rabbi Berachia reaches an interesting conclusion. He tells to himself that this man, he, and the dog will eat together or as one. Now, who would like to tell the story in English? The whole story. What do we have here before we continue?
We have we have a rabbi who sees a man, and he invites the man into his home. And when he invites him into his home, he asks him to reveal something from the Torah, four levels. But it's interesting that they mention the door and the delet in the fourth level. So he asked the man to reveal something to him, and the man could not. And he couldn't find anything in him. And not only that, but the man fell asleep behind the door. So the rabbi concluded that the man had nothing for him, and that he would basically be with the dog.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Rodrigo. Yeah, I would like that everyone will tell the story as he perceives it. Now, Rodrigo, please tell the story, because the way you tell a story is the way the attention is being reflected. Yes, Rodrigo, what is the story here?
Now I agree with Justin. I understood at least in the literal meaning. This is what happens. A rabbi see a man in the gate of Rome and invited to come into his home, and how can I say, made some questions regarding Torah and Talmud and Haggadah, and he didn't find nothing in that man, and then the man sleep behind the door, and he concluded that this man could, if I understood well, be with a dog or something like that. Just one commentary that the name of the Rabbi is Berachia, and Berachia is, I believe, is a blessing from God. I noticed this fact, the name of the Rabbi, and for me it's amazing because it's something like the bless of Yah, the bless of God.
Yes. This is the meaning of Berachia, the bless of Yah, of father and mother, wisdom and understanding. This is the story.
It's interesting that he sleeps behind the door, and we have the four levels that he cannot answer, and they find nothing in him.
This is interesting. That's amazing.
Yes.
Because we have here Rome. Yes, Fernando, what would you like to say about Rome?
No, it is quite interesting that Justin said this, because it was on my mind that we have four levels of speaking that Rabbi Berachia tried. The Torah, the Talmud, the extension of the Talmud, and the Haggadah. We have four levels, but the man slept behind the door, and the door is Dalet as well. It is the letter Dalet, the number 4, can signifies a door. So we can say that the man could not enter in the realm of the secret, even in the Pshat level. He could not grasp. And he's a Roman, right? He is it seems that they are in the city of Rome, and the city of Rome represents usually the exile, the final exile. It is like it is the one who lives in the world, right?
Excellent. So this is interesting. He meets him at the gate of Rome, and the Rome is the greatest or longest, the exile. This is the last day. And at the gate of Rome, the gate the gate, is also a door in Hebrew. So it's basically the Daled. So he meets him at the Daled of the Hay, the gate of Rome. Do we understand that?
Yes.
So the Hay is Hay, but the Hay is composed of Daled and Yod. So he meets him at the gate of Rome, at the Daled of the last exile. And then, as Justin noticed, he asked him like 4 questions in 4 levels again of understanding or reading the Torah. The man, Rabbi Berachia, say to him, not a good word, but the man does not answer. He doesn't opens in argument against. He makes himself fall again behind the door. Again, we have here door and a gate. And Rabbi Berachia speaks with himself. Yes, thank you, Johan, for exiles. Rabbi Berachia speaks to himself, and he understands that this man is, if he fall asleep behind the door, meaning outside the door, because he is in the level of a dog, because the dog is behind the door, for so to speak, the outside, and human are on the other side of the door. Do we understand that?
Yes.
Good. Can we continue to read, or you have any questions that you'd like to ask? Yes.
Just 2 things that I want to share. The first is Rome is called Edom, right?
True.
It's something that is associated with Rome, the city of Rome, and the exile of Rome. And the other thing is the gate is related to judgment or something like that. The shufut and shufutim, the judgment are how can I say?
As the judgment. True. The judges are sitting at the gate. Very good. Very, very, very good. Like the Bible says in Parashat Shoftim, Shoftim v'shotrim, judges and policemen, you shall put on your all openings. There is a weekly portion of the Torah, Parashat Shoftim, in the 5th book of Moses. Shoftim v'shotrim, judges and policemen or guards, you shall put on your openings.
This reminds me of the story. I think it's Samson.
Yes.
Samson who took the carried the gates.
Yes, of Gaza. Yes. Excellent. Questions or thoughts before we continue?
And about the dog,
Yes, about the
don't know if
dog.
you
Yes.
can,
No, the dog.
because
Let's.
the dog has, I think that he has the same gematria as the name in Malchut, Shem Ben. Right?
Very good.
I'm not
Very
sure.
good. Very good. The dog has the name.
Kalev.
Yes, 1 second. Let's open it. Kalev. Yes, very good. Kalev. The dog has value of 52. Like
Ben.
Ben.
2 times.
Oh,
2 times the
yes. So in a way,
the feeling of tetragrammaton in Malchut.
in Malchut, which is called also Nefesh. Yes? The Nefesh is in the Malchut as well. The Nefesh is in the Malchut. Do we understand it, or shall I have to make a draw? I mean, shall I draw, or do you understand that the Nefesh is in the Malchut?
We understand.
You
It
do.
is crystal clear.
So the dog, also 52, is the numbers of week in the calendaric year. So it basically means time. So Rabbi Berechia's conclusion is simple. He doesn't know how to answer those 4 levels of question. So his place is with the dog, so to speak, with the time, with the manifested, and not with the timeless, and not with the secret. This is the conclusion of Rabbi Berachia so far. Do we understand this insight of Rabbi Berachia?
Yes.
Good. The next letter is only in Hebrew. I did not bring the Aramaic, but The next will be in Aramaic. Dehachi Amar Rabbi Manyumi, because this is what Rabbi Manyumi, the old man, Hazaken, Migush Chalav. There is a village in the Galilee which is called Gush Chalav. Because why Rabbi Berachia think that his guest supposed to be with the dog? Because this is what Rabbi Manyumi Hazaken, the old Rabbi Manyumi from Gush Chalav, says. What does he says? The old man of Gush Chalav. Gush Chalav is like a block of milk, literally from Hebrew to English. Rabbi Manyumi, the old one, he's quoting one verse from Isaiah. Who would like to read the quote from Isaiah, which Rabbi Berachia think in his mind that this old sage is saying? Who would like to read Isaiah 56, verse 11?
I can read the English part if you like.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Isaiah chapter 56, verse 11. Yea, the dogs are greedy. They know not when they have enough. And these are the shepherds that cannot understand. They all turn to their own way, each one to his gain, one and all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, in Hebrew, Rodrigo Fernando. Who would like to read?
I can try it.
Thank you.
והכלבים עזי נפש לא ידעו שבעה והמה רואים לא ידיו חבין כולם לדרכם פנו איש לבצור מקצהו.
Thank you
I'm
so
sorry.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You are,
Okay.
I appreciate your reading so much. So Rabbi Berachia suddenly noticed his guest, and in his mind he remembers this old sage from Gush Chalav who quote Isaiah. What does he quote? Ma'u v'aklavim azeh nefesh. Bold as is like, how do you say, without respect. Azeh nefesh, they have strong kind of nefesh, multiplicity. They never know when to stop. Sav'a is when we feel that we cannot eat anymore. This is like, comes from 7, like a sense of filling, of fulfilling. So the bold dogs do not know how or what enough is. And he is continuing. Now he is explaining what does it mean that they don't know what enough is. Lo yad'u sov'a. Sov'a ba misheva. They don't know where the 7, when it's enough. Now he explains in the inner way. This is the verse that Isaiah speaks is not about the dogs, like the dogs, which is an animal that barks. This is only a proverb about people. What is the reflected picture that he brings? Eluhem amei haaretz. Amei haaretz, the people of the earth. They live only with the earth, only earthly life, temporal life. Shehem azei panim kakelev, that they have bold face like a dog. Bold nefesh, like the part of the emanated soul which is multiplied in the blood in everything. Mahu hata'am, what is the reason? Because lo yadhu, excuse me, what is the reason? The reason is because they don't know to understand, or they don't understand. People are living earthly life because they don't understand. והקדוש ברוך הוא, and the holy blessed he, אינו משרה שכינתו בתוכם, does not let his Holy Spirit, his Shekhinah, his, say, dwelling agency among them or in them. ועל כן, and this is why, הם עזי נפש, they have like a strong or a bold nefesh. And for that reason, umishum ze, he, meaning the guest of Rabbi Berachia, and the dog shall eat together.
Wow. Eti,
Yes.
just it is interesting that in English they translated nefesh as greedy.
Yes. Yes. The aspect of multiplicity, they never know enough. Greed doesn't have any border or point of fulfillment, always more. Questions or ideas? Rodrigo, Justin, Venus, Joanne.
The idea of the dog being representing people in the world. There's a lot of references to jackals as well, but jackals be the same interpretation. I think it's in Jeremiah and quite a few other areas that it mentions jackals, a place being desolate and only meant for jackals, really.
Yes. Can we continue, or you have questions that you would like to ask?
One thing also it is that I like the translation about bold nefesh, and the root for the word bold is os, just like strong, right?
Yes.
And I am just thinking about what do you think about a strong nefesh or a bold nefesh? It sounds to me that is like okay, a nefesh that is too strong, that dominates the one, but also that is like impermeable, that doesn't let anything passes through him because he's greedy. He wants everything to him. I don't know what you think about it.
It is good what you're saying. Yes, they live in this dimension of nefesh, bold. Bold is also, we say about the element, the, so to speak, male and bold, that they are just hanging on the earthly surface of life, and this is what makes them bold. Yes. They say parallel verse to what you're saying. There is a verse that says, "Az panim," bold face, "az panim," or inner, bold inner, legehenom. Gehenom is like hell, meaning people that don't have an inner aspect of life, they are basically living in hell. because hell is not a geographical realm. A person that does not have any sense of inner, he lives in hell. He can drive his car, he can have business, he can have multiple assets. Yes.
If you understood well, Rabbi Maniumar
Yes.
say that the people that live in this material room, in this without no conscience,
Yes.
is because they don't know. It's, how can I say, ignorance. We can say it.
Yes, they're
They,
ignorant. Yes, they don't know God.
yes,
Yes.
and they live their lives without this perception of the spiritual room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only in a nefesh level, in a instinct life.
Yes, instinct life, like, yes, very good, very good. Instinct, yes, very good.
Teacher, I heard it. I heard it once said that I don't know if this is correct. That if without the yod in ish, we would be left with just fire,
Yes,
and that fire would consume us without the yod.
excellent. This is it, because hell is like fire without the yod. Excellent. Excellent. Can we continue now? It will be in Aramaic. This is the interesting part. Are we ready?
Yes, yes.
Kad itar, when he woke up. Now we return to the story, because so far the second paragraph was what Rabbi Berachia think in his mind that Rabbi Maniumi says about a verse of Isaiah, and there's the reflection of the verse. Now our camera like returns to the scene of Rabbi Berachia and his guest from Rome. Kadit Ar, Kadit Ar, when he woke up, Ar, Ein Resh, from Lit-Orer, to wake up. Kad it Ar, Kam, he stood, Vekariv, Hitkarev, got closer. It's about the guest, all of those verbs. Legabei Ptora, he woke up and he approached or got closer to the table. Ptora in Aramaic is a table. Please pay attention to Ptora. Does it remind you something? Pera. I will look at the letters and play with them.
Three letters are the Torah, right?
Torah.
Yes, Torah. Yes, what else? Pei Tavresh Oresh. Play with the letters. Pei Tavresh. What do we get? The name of the river?
Prat.
Prat. Yes. Very good.
Yes.
Which river is it from the four rivers?
Well,
Euphrates.
Yes. Yes. There are four rivers. Yes. Which are coming from
from Eden.
The
Yes,
last one,
and
right?
the last is the fourth.
The Prat, yes.
Prat,
Gihon,
Euprat.
Material.
Yes. Very good.
Gihon, Kush. Yes.
Yes. Chidekel and Prat, Euphratus. Please remember all of those paths, like those games, because they are very inner. So Petora in Aramaic is Shulchan. But please pay attention that those letters is also Patar. Patar is to solve. Like to solve a problem in this scene of the table and generally in life. When people sit next to the table, something comes out. Let's see what is happening here. So the guest is wake up, stand, and approach the table. Mach rishe, he lowered his head, velo amar midi, and did not say anything. Chamina, again, Chamina is from Chama, sun, to see. I looked, Ra'iti, I looked, and pondered in his eyes. Dechaichan, his eyes, the eyes of the guest, were smiling or laughing. He told me, ודאי מאור חוי דמרך התרחקת. He told the guest, told Rabbi Berachia, of course you have gone to Rabbi Berachia so far from the way of your master or Lord. Dehu takin ptora, because the Lord is correcting or fixing a table. Ad dela yeti adam. So the guest now is facing Rabbi Berachia. What is happening so far?
The guest woke up and came to the table and said nothing, but his eyes were smiling.
Yes.
And this last part, he is like working on the table. I'm trying to connect.
What does he say? He is smiling, his eyes are smiling, but he says to Rabbi Berachia, and I will now move to the Hebrew. Yes, he told me, the guest told Rabbi Berachia, of course you have gone far from the way of your Lord. The guest, after he woke up, and he says to Rabbi Berachia, of course you have gone far from the way of your Lord. That the Lord is fixing a table, meaning that he made food, before human is coming, and before he will ask him and check him if he knows the Torah. If you will continue to go in this way, your children or your sons will not exist. And immediately he repeated and says, you shall have, meaning sons, and they will exist for you. What is happening here?
Well, it sounds to me, I'm not sure that I am right, but it sounds to me that the guest said to Rabbi Berachia that he is going in the wrong direction, because it seems that let's say the correct attitude would be to make the table to serve the guest first, and just after study the Torah. Is that right?
Yes, this is excellent. In a way, the guest shows.
It makes
Yes, please, Fernando.
it makes me remember one saying that speaks that without bread there is no Torah, and without Torah there is no bread, something like this. Like I'm not sure, but this is what came.
This is good, because you remember that we were learning Parashat Lech Lecha, that there is no blessing from above if there is no what? Yes, there's no vessel.
Abundance.
Yes.
No vessel. Yes.
No vessel.
Like you need to put the table like the widow, right?
Yes, you have to put
some oil.
emptiness. If there's an emptiness, And this is very interesting because the story comes from Rabbi Berachia. Berachia comes from Barech, from blessing. And we learn from Parashat Lech Lecha, she'en bracha shora, no blessing is dwelling on an empty space. And the name of the character is Rabbi Berachia. But he, in a way, did not learn Zohar Lech Lecha. Otherwise, he would put something on the table. There is no table, there is nothing on the table. Not table, not nothing on the table, and instead he's tackling his guest in 4 questions in 4 different layers. Do we understand the, how do you say, the cognitive
Yes.
structure of the text?
Yes, now I understand it. Yes.
Because whenever we read a text, it's not just about the text that is in front of our eyes, because the text in its inner meaning is corresponding to many, many, many texts that we read during the years. And this is in a way like, this is how we write a story. Rabbi Berachia that doesn't have any blessing in a way. He doesn't know how to
Yeah.
act.
He doesn't relate to the guest properly.
No. You remember Abraham after his circumcision, it was a very hot day. In the 3rd day, the 3rd day is the most severe day, the 72 hours. And he was standing at the opening of his tent to receive guests, to serve. There's a beautiful painting by Rembrandt. Abraham is serving the messengers or the angels or the guests, serving. And he is just playing judge, inquires, like we say, inquire who is there sniffing around. This is very interesting. Are we ready to another verse, or are we tired? What is the take with you? Rodrigo, Justin, Venus, Joanne, friends on YouTube, what is your concentration value at the moment?
No, please go on. It's beautiful.
Yes,
It's,
please go on, please.
yeah, it's neat how they turn the entire situation around
Yes.
to how the guest was greeted versus how the person was judging the guest. So this is very good. Please go on.
Shall I continue to read in Aramaic or in Hebrew and immediately translate? This is the question. What would you like to do?
What makes you more happy, Eti? Because
We
it is
should
amazing
see.
to hear. So
Okay. Aminali. Now we are in letter 7. Mix it up. Of course, Venus. Of course. Aminali amai. Amarti lo. I told him. To the guest. Amarti lo. This is Rabbi Berachia. This is the speech of Rabbi Berachia, the host, the owner of the house. I told him, why did you return back from your words and you were comforting? Because at the beginning, the guest told him, you are not following the Lord's way. The Lord's way is first to put a table that a human will come and could have a meal. But you did not act like the Lord. You did not put a table. You did not prepare it, and instead you inquire me. So the guest told him, I wonder if you will have children. And if you will have children, they will continue to live, because this is not a way to live. Banim, as you notice, banim, sons, comes from ben. Ben has the same value, son, 52, like a dog. Please pay attention to the subtext all the time, because there's a level of conversation and the subtext is all the time is communicating, all the time. So Rabbi Berachia, first to the guest, the guest is wondering if Rabbi Berachia will have children with such a behavior, and if he will have sons, they will continue to exist. And then he corrects himself and says, okay, you will have children and they will continue to live. So Rabbi Berachia again inquires him, why did you repeat your words? Meaning, first you said that I will not have sons, and then you were comforting, and then you said that I will have sons. Amar li, told him, the guest told Rabbi Berachia, אסור לאדם לקלל את עצמו. A man should not curse himself. וכל שכן, and also not to the other. So a man should not curse himself, and of course not the other, when a person except outside of himself. משום שקללת חכם, because the curse of a wise, אפילו שהיא על תנאי, even if it's a conditional one, היא מתקיימת. It is existing. This is what the guest is telling Rabbi Berachia. אמרתי, I said, Rabbi Berachia, this is the speech of Rabbi Berachia. אמרתי, I said, כך הוא ודאי. This is, of course, this is how things are. That it is written, שכתוב, אם אשר תמצא את אלוהיך לא יחיה ונתקיים. First, Rabbi Berachia says, of course, and brings the verse that Jacob says to Laban when Laban is searching in the tent to see if Jacob or his wife stole something, the teraphim, from him. As Jacob says, the following verse, Im asher timtza, with what you will find with your God, or what, how shall I say this in English? With whatever you will find, or with whom that you will find with your God Laban, the teraphim, he shall not live. This is not a curse, this is just a sentence. And it came to be, ונתקיים, because Rachel died on the way. אבל אתה, but you, says Rabbi Berachia to the guest, בדקתי אותך, I checked you, ולא מצאתי שתהיה בן תורה. And I did not find that you shall be the son of the Torah, meaning a blessed or a wise man. וכללותיך, and your curse, אינן כלום. And your curses are nothing. What is happening here?
Here we have a conversation. Rabbi Berachia asked the man why he said a curse that he would not, that Rabbi would not have a son, and after he retreat, like saying that he would have sons. And the man brought a teaching from the Torah that a man was not supposed to curse himself or others. So the conversation goes, and Rabbi Berachia speaks about that he was right about that, and told the story about Jacob, and about the conversation with Laban, and the conversation with Laban that caused maybe the death of Rachel in the way. But since the guest didn't have the Torah, his curse doesn't mean anything. So we have like a coming and going conversation. And if I may, what is interesting that you said about the ban, that the ban is Malchut, that we were speaking, right? And it is interesting, and I'm not sure that I am right, but it seems that if we look in abstract, that the Rabbi Berahia was expecting the Torah from the manifested. He was expecting to receive something from the manifested. He was expecting to receive teachings from the Torah, from Malchut, but instead what the guest is saying is that he needs to give something for Malchut and not expecting to receive from the Malchut.
True.
I'm not sure that I am right, but
True. 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 It is interesting also that Rabbi Berachia says that he, in a way, cleaving into his first judgment, he says that I checked you still, he says, even in this paragraph, and I did not find that you are the son of the Torah, meaning you are sage or wise. Venus says, Fernando, I think that is a good conclusion. That's excellent. But please, he's still standing, he's insisting that he finds the guest not wise. And not just this, he says that your curses are nothing. Meaning it doesn't matter what you say, it cannot hold anything. This is what Rabbi Berachia is still saying. Can we continue?
yes, please.
Yes.
And thank you,
Yes.
Venus.
Yes.
Patach ve'amar. He opened and said, ve'ata. Now he brings a verse from the prayer of Moses, when Moses is praying upon the people after they have built the golden calf. Patach ve'amar, ve'ata, he opened and said, and now, if you will carry their sin or mistake, and if not. This is how Moses is opening his prayer. If you will carry their sin, and if not, ve'im ayin, and this is it, everything sits here on the ayin of nothing, and if you will not carry, ve'im ayin, mecheni na, please delete, mecheni na, please delete me, or wipe my name, misifrecha, from your book, asher katavta, that you have written. Now this is how Moses is praying to God. If you will carry their sin, and if not, please delete my name from your book that you have written. Klalazo, this curse was on a condition. Here there's a cut, Tnai. Tnai is a condition. Tnai, condition, comes from Tanai, from two. From two. Condition is something that we have two. Tanai is two. Condition. Tanai. Klalazo, this curse was a conditional one that Moses used, so to speak, because the Holy Blessed He was forgiving their deeds for Moses. And in spite of that, his name was deleted of a very beautiful portion of the Torah. In the deed or the act, b'mitzvat maaseh hamishkan, in the good deed of building the Mishkan, which is the portion, היא פרשת ואתה תצווה. Is the name of Moses. If you will check in portion tetzaveh, the name of Moses is not mentioned even once. שהיה לו לכתוב, meaning the Holy Blessed He, should have written the name of Moses in every word and word of every mitzvah which is there in building of the Mishkan. and he was deleted, the name of Moses was deleted from that portion, and is not mentioned there in Parashat Tetzaveh. The name Moses is not mentioned even once. Harei, meaning hence, that the curse of wise, even if it is conditioned, it is existing. What does the guest is saying now?
Amazing. He is bringing the saying of Moses when Moses is speaking to the Lord and trying to save the people, and he asked to God that if the gods terminate that people, the Lord could delete the name of Moses from existence. So it was a conditional asking, only if God did that, he could delete the name of Moses. So the God did not exterminate the people of Israel, but the name of Moses was not written in the Parashat Tetzaveh. So it is like saying that even in a conditional situation like that, it has an effect.
Yes. Yes.
Because the name of Moses should be written in that portion, but it is not. So
This is true. And here comes the comment of Rabbi Berachia. Keivan, since I recognized him. Keivan שהכרתי בו, recognize. The word recognize, please, in Hebrew, heker, to recognize. We have the words of kerem, vineyard, and wisdom. All of this, hakerna. This is what Judah says to Jacob. Do you recognize your son dressing? כיוון שהכרתי בו, since I recognize him, שהוא תלמיד חכם, that he is a wise student or scholar or disciple, קמתי, I stood up, והושבתי אותו, and I let him sit בראש השולחן, at the head of the table. אמרתי לו, I told him, והרי אחר פרשת ואתה תצווה, but after this weekly portion of פרשת תצווה ואתה תצווה, אמר משה את הדבר הזה. Now Rabbi Berachia, what does he do? He recognized the guest as a wise man. Rabbi Berachia himself stood up and let the guest sit at the head of the table, and while he let him sit at the head of the table, he says to him, but after Parashat Tetzaveh, Moses said this conditional, meaning to curse himself, which is in Parashat Kitisa. We have Parashat Kitisa that in a way Moses said this verse, please forgive them, and if not, delete my name, let's say. Delete. In Parashat Tetzaveh, because I'm writing here from Hebrew right to left, so for English speakers, it's opposite. Tetzaveh. Now, Rabbi Berachia says that the verse that in which Moses asked forgiveness is being written in Parashat Kitisa, which is, it's about Exodus 33. And in Parashat Tetzaveh, which is proceeding, it's before 33, his name is deleted. So this is a question like to bug. Yes, it's a bugging question. So if he said those words on conditional curse in Exodus about 32, 33, why the name of Moses is deleted in one portion before Kitisa? Why the name of Moses is deleted in Parashat Tetzaveh? So he told me, the guest, En mukdam u'meuchar b'Torah, meaning there is no before and after in the Torah. Is that understood?
Yeah.
How would you summarize this?
It is interesting, Eti, because in this last paragraph, the Rabbi Birahia recognize
Mm-hmm.
the capability of the guest and invited him to the Rosh Sulhan, or the head of the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
To sit in the head of the table like a special guest.
Mm-hmm.
But in the following, he asked a bug question, like he's still trying to get the guest, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's speaking that why it happens in the Torah that this conditional question from Moses was speaking on Parashat Kitisa, but the latter name is in Parashat Tetzaveh that comes before Parashat Kitisa. And the guest once more he answers, speaking that there is not such a thing as the linear time in the Torah.
Excellent.
There is not before and after in the Torah.
Excellent. And this is the story of
It
the
is amazing.
Yes. This is the story of the son, because if there's a son, there's a father. Yes? There is what before and after. So Rabbi Berachia, his perspective is always time and linear. Like you say, he's asked the time. Instead of giving the time,
Yes.
he's asking the time for wisdom.
Just yesterday, Eti, you and Rodrigo were speaking about the circular thinking and the linear thinking, like the creative thinking and the orthodox reading,
Yes,
let's say,
yes.
the pshat reading.
Yes.
And it seems that this text is pointing that the Torah is not linear. It is not. It is not what it looks like, because it is like this guest that he is not what he looks like in the first place. You know?
Yes. Yes.
It is amazing text. It is almost it is we can see a very complex literature. You know, the Zohar is pointing us to the fact that the guest is a Roman, and he speaks nothing, and he's like a dog. He has a bold nefesh, but it turns out that he is the one who has the teaching, and the Zohar do it often. I'm not sure that I said it right, but he often does this. You know, the one who has the insight is not the rabbi. It's not the clever one. It is the humble one who has the teachings of the Torah. And it was amazing.
Thank you. It is also interesting that Now he says, and you mentioned the circular way or rabbinical, he let the guest sit at the head of the table. If he let the guest sit at the head of the table, it means that we have a like long table. This is, so to speak, the head. Let me write it in a coherent way. This is the head. So if this is the head of the table and he put here the guest, it means this is the body. So still we have to, how do you say, sinking in time. It's not a circular table. This is what the guest is telling him. There is no late and early in the Bible. Everything is happening at once. Later, rabbinical thinking, rabbinical or institutional thinking, is thinking in this dimension. And here we have circular thinking, and later we shall find in Europe the Knights. This is completely out of the Zohar, but the Knights of the Round Table. Because when we sit next to a round table, everybody has the same distance from the center, every perspective. And still here at the head of the table, he still bugs him. Rabbi Berachia doesn't have, he is always like pinching him. Rabbi Berachia has no peace. Because he still lives in time, because his name is Rabbi Berachia. And the Torah starts with Bet, with duality. Like we have read yesterday about the 4 letters, the capital letters, that the first letter of a book or first letter of a person, this is his secret. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much.
It was it was really amazing, and I thank you so much for opening the book of Zohar, such a beauty and with lot of patience with us, and with lot of devotion and care, and I thank you so much. We have so much to say about it, and I just want to thank you, really. Thank you, and thank you, friends, Justin, Rodrigo, Venus, Joanne, and all the friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your patience, because it needs a patience and endurance, and sometimes to think in different levels and colors, names, and different texts at the same time. So I appreciate your perseverance and long ability to listen. Thank you so much.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much
Thank you so
for what
much.
you brought me every day. So, shalom, shalom to everyone.
Thank you, Etty. Thank you, Justin and Fernando, and our friends on YouTube, Venus and Joanne and everyone. Thank you very much, and shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, and Shabbat shalom. All the best.
Shabbat Shalom.